Hey witches, what y'all up to out there? Okay, all my kindreds, family, and friends. I'm fixing to get ready to retreat to the deck like we did last year. Remember, we did our thing on the outside. It was really fun. We had a lovely time out there. The weather was nice. Well, we're going to retreat to going back out there the next couple of videos, maybe sooner than that. I'm looking out there right now, and I just can't wait to get out there. My greenhouse is out there, and I want to show you all some of the things I'm doing, but I can't put the camera on the plant. I've noticed that if you put the camera directly on the plants, they will die. I never will forget a few years back when I put the camera on the garden out there. I experienced where some of the plants actually withered away, and a lot of people might say, "Oh, that's ridiculous. There's no such thing." But when things like that happen to me, I pay close attention to it. I just don't ignore it. Here's some of the things I'm gonna be putting out there, y'all. Let me cut some light on up in here. Can y'all see me better now? Okay. Do something with this hair of mine. Um, I'm gonna be doing some squash. I already got some in there now, growing. I experienced where a few of them passed away, where they died. I know y'all said passed away. Well, it's deep to me. When I see a seedling die or a plant die, I mean, it just really gets next to me because I really want them to all make it. This is the Waltham butternut. You ever had any of that, y'all? See that? And I'm gonna be doing. This is by Fairy Morse. As you all can see, I mainly purchased Fairy Morse seedlings since 1856, they say. Eggplant, early long purple. I'm going to be doing those. And the reason why I like these is because you can slice those, kind of dice them like you would cucumbers. And because those big eggplants have loads of seeds. And then when you eat them, you just have a texture of seeds. And I just don't like that too much, even though I do have some growing out there and stuff. Mainly, I would give those away. I would let my daughter take them on her job and give those away. But these are my favorites right here. I know a lot of people, wonder, what do you do with the eggplant? You can do a lot of cool dishes with them, especially for people who are vegetarian, because a lot of what you can do with it's almost, you can get that texture of having meat from the eggplant, because it has a thick, chewy texture, sort of like for those who have never eaten eggplant. And with these, I like to slice them up and season them, or you can and you can shake them up with cornmeal. But what you can do is you can get that Louisiana fish fry, and you can shake them up in those once you dice them, because it's already seasoned cornmeal, and you will fry these in cooking oil. They're really good like that. Sort of reminds me of the fried okras. And I'm going to do some cardinal climber vines. I always do these every year and let them climb the fence. Those are my favorites too. They are so pretty. Now you can't eat these now. If you decide you want to do some of these, don't try to eat them because they may be poisonous. But I just do that, just an ornamental vine over the fence because I think it's real cool. But that's not what this video is all about. What is this video really about? Because it was supposed to be this on the last video, but then I got to talking about, the continent Africa, so. But this is what I wanted to talk about. I wanted to talk about some things that are going on once again in the African American community. And y'all family, y'all just please stand in with me. Kendra, y'all stand in with me, because I know that this is a witchcraft channel, but I wanted to talk about this and address this situation. because ignoring it is like, just saying that it's true and it's okay. And it's not okay. And somebody needs to let them know it's not okay. We came down here to teach one another. That's why we're here. And if you're not doing an effective job of teaching, you will be punished. When you know better, you're supposed to do the right thing. Um, it's not okay for you to sit around and let a man whoop on you, and you sit there and you take that beating, then you're gonna be punished because you are to teach him that if he does not know how to behave, that you're going to leave and he's gonna be left alone. And if everyone was to practice this teaching, then guess what? These people will learn their lesson. But you decided that you do not want to do the right thing. You've decided that you're going to please him, even though you're getting his ass whooping. And you're going to do whatever it takes to win him over. And that's what's causing all of this dysfunction in our community. Okay? And you women who practice this are responsible for the dysfunction in the community. Those who would lie on the bed or bend over or whatever you're going to do to a man that you know is sick in the head, you decide you're going to do it anyway, then you are responsible for the problem. You are responsible, and you're going to be held accountable. And then you wonder why you always learning a harsh lesson. Why is it that things are so much harder on you and you feel like you're bearing the cross because you're not doing what you're supposed to do? These people are to be taught. They're here to learn something from you. You are supposed to be teaching them something about themselves so that they can evolve. That's why they whoop you until they finally put you in the hospital or kill you, or kill one of your children, murder one of your children because you're not doing the right thing. You're not teaching. You are a teacher. Okay? So that's why I say to just ignore it and to not talk about it is to also say that it is okay. And it is not okay. I'm here today to say that the dysfunction needs to be addressed. And it's a big problem. And no one person can fix it. I just don't even know where we are going at this point right now. I don't even see anybody that can fix the situation. I know what's going to happen. I'm not going to say, I don't know where we're going, but I know eventually what's going to happen. You know what I'm saying? And it needs to happen. So that's what this video is going to be about. Me talking about the dysfunction in the African American community. Now, you all know how I feel. I do not believe in, and it's not going to turn into one of those channels for you all who are worried. I know some people are saying, hey, we want to stay off that subject and we don't really want to go there and everything. But, I guess the reason why I feel like talking about it right now is you all can see the channel used to be about that. It was about the African American community. And it turned into a witchcraft channel. I didn't know it was going to be that, No, I think in the beginning it did kind of center around a little bit of hoodoo and a little bit about me. And then I realized that, I wasn't that important, and that some of the things surrounding me were. And so I went in that direction. So I think I did talk a little bit about it, in the beginning, But anyway, so it started off one of those kind of channels, and no, it's not going to be that channel. Every now and then, you all can be rest assured that I'm going to address it, and then I'm off the topic, and I'm going back to what, the channel is really supposed to be about, and I'm going to always stay on that. But we're always growing. We just never, ever know. But I hope that, we can, remain, on the right path, because I'm here to tell you today, yes, I am a feminist, and you all can see that I'm a feminist, and that's just the way it is. Do the math. Handwriting is all over the wall. Who I am. But I do have to talk about this, you know, because where I am and what I'm seeing right now is different. I've been here for 4 decades plus. I'm not ashamed of it. I don't mind talking about it, because you can tell for yourself, you can see it, so I have a little bit of wisdom here, and I can see some things happening that I didn't see, when I was a young woman growing up. It's a war between the sexes, a war between the gender. And I've been affected by it. You all know that I got a divorce from Mr. Willie, and that's the best thing I could ever have done. Uh, I don't regret those 26 years I was in the relationship because it taught me a lot. But I do regret, allowing things to happen that happened in the relationship, because now I'm being punished for it right now. So if you're young, you need to do something about these abusive relationships when you're young. Get something done about it now, okay? No one deserves to be abused. I don't care if you're a male or if you're a female, and you're not only allowing yourself to be abused, you're allowing your children to be abused too. And if you think it's cute, you just wait until your children whoop your ass when they get to be grown. And they don't have any respect for you. And no, you're not no victim. Don't sit down here and cry, okay? Because you knew better, because somebody told you better. Because if your mama didn't tell you, if your daddy didn't tell you, your aunt, your uncle, and your confidants did not tell you, I'm telling you here today that you got to get up and do something, okay? Because if you don't get whooped, or your children don't get whooped, and y'all don't wind up in the hospital, or you don't become permanently disabled, or your children become permanently disabled, or you don't die, you're going to pay for it later, okay? Because you got to know that this abuser, one day, if he don't really hurt you bad or kill you, okay, he going to get up one day and he going to leave you. So, you just decide when you going to do something about it. I would do something about it when I'm young, okay? I don't care if you're 20, 30, 40, 50, 60. Do something about it, okay? Because there's some folks done died 40, 50, 60, 70, 20, 30 years old. Died in a situation like this. So get up and do something about it, because guess what? And then that right there can apply to any community. But let me get back to the African American community. Right now, I always talk about the elitists. You're being programmed. Look at your TV. Everything is anti-black woman. Yeah, I gotta go there. Didn't want to go there, but I thought that, this is the time to talk about it and get it done. And I'm sure my viewers, my family and friends and kindreds, y'all can pardon me for a minute and allow me this airtime to talk about this situation. Black women, you are a target right now. Things ain't looking too good for you right now. Just look at the TVs. So I always tell people say, Mama, how can I get away from this rut? Well, deprogram. How do you deprogram? You turn off your TV. Anything anti a certain group of people, you don't supposed to be watching it. And I'd be damned if you should be allowing your children to watch this stuff. Turn off your TVs. Unless it's unless you're doing something that's going to feed your soul, so that you could take it and do something with it to also feed other souls. Okay, something positive. You know what I'm saying? Your children shouldn't be watching this. Just look at the TVs. Nothing good at all about black women. Where are we going with this? Don't y'all miss those days when, mama was doing for the family and taking care of everybody and looking out for everybody, and daddy was going out working and trying to make sure the family was taken care of no matter what? Even in some situations, the money was not there, but the love remained. Those good structured families are gone on TV. And I'm starting to notice that the TV is the trend. Whatever the TV is doing, we're starting to do it too. Have you all noticed that? What do I see on TV now representing black women right now? Hmm. It seems to be that, everybody's trying to keep up with the fashion, get the latest bags, the latest cars, the latest homes. No one is no longer interested in a relationship anymore with the significant other. Everything is just centered around, being her being the boss. I'm not saying that's good. I'm not saying that's bad, but I just want you all to know what I'm talking about. Now I'm talking to you about what's going on in the media. Then these black men are being trained too. They're being trained to, yeah, I mean, you can see it all, especially on these reality shows, them frustrated with the woman, picking up, getting up, leaving, and leaving the children. Because I thought the children were what was important in the long run and in the end. That's what I thought, no matter what. Oh, I dislike her, she's this, she's that. But in the end, the children are important. That's what you need to concentrate all your time and energy in. But what I see is the opposite. I see they're showing us this now. I'm not saying it's all to be true because I do not think it's all to be true. Okay? I do not think that all black men do not take care of their children. Because my ex took care of his children. He was an exception to the rule if you want to believe everything you see on television. Okay? So he did take care of his children. Still go in and do for his grown children even to the day. So I got to give him that. But when you look at TV, it shows us that the black man is not going to take care of his children. He does not make a good mate. Yeah, do y'all see that going on? And I'm not saying it's true, but you got some people with a weak mind. Remember, I told you, I said a weak mind is very destructive because they will carry out a task, okay, for a manipulator in a split second. A lot of people are murdered and in their graves right now because of a weak mind. So you got a weak mind that will look and literally take and run. And I'm pointing right here because there's a TV there. Run with anything and everything that they see being promoted by television. You can't take that literal now. It's all by design, okay? Don't forget that. The elitists are doing this by design. So they're telling these black males, hey, look, she's responsible for all of your problems that you've experienced through history. It's all her fault. The slavery, the whipping, the lynchings, it's all the black woman's fault. Excuse me, y'all, my mouth just watering talking about this because I've been wanting to talk about this for a very long time. So, like I say, everything is now anti-black woman. Oh my God. I mean, it's trickling down to not only this black role model of a male is no longer in the household raising his children and coming up with a trillion excuses of why he don't want to be there and why he's not going to support. And it's not all black men now. I'm talking about the ones that they want to show us on TV because they hoping that if they can get you to believe it, that it will happen. Y'all know TV is one of the greatest magicians out there. A lot of people watch the news and if you can believe that all is bad and the world is this great dark place, then guess what? The fact that they got so many viewers to believe it, then it becomes it. That's what the news is. The news is not real. The news is a ritual to get you to believe in the performance. And once you believe in the performance, then guess what? It becomes reality. Now, I'm not saying that there's no darkness out there because it is, but that's what it promotes 100% darkness. That's what the news is all about, okay? To get you to believe. And even the weather itself, our weather is manufactured here in the United States of America. Most of all of these type Western countries and stuff have the manufactured weather. Even some in Europe and the United Kingdom, the weather is conditioned to stay cool because of the harsh heated temperatures and stuff. So if you watch the news and you start feeding into it and believing in it, if they say it's going to snow, it's going to be a blizzard, all they need is your energy to believe in it. And what it does is it gives the power to the machinery that they operate to do what they do. You got to believe first. A lot of the times people don't believe it and it don't happen. A lot of the times you believe in it and it happens, or whatever. But anyway, so that's what the television promotes racism between the genders and stuff. Okay? That's what it's doing right at this point. So right now there's an uproar on YouTube. I'm gonna have my Fiji water, y'all. I know I said I wasn't gonna buy it anymore, but it's convenient to get it rather than to get the kawaii. That's my favorite, kawaii. If I could have that at my access, I would have it all the time, but it's on the other side of town. Y'all know how that goes. These leaders are going to make sure that it's in their neighborhoods. Y'all know how that is. So it's a huge uproar. Now, this is what I really want to talk about right here. And I'm going to compact it all. I'm just going to leave it, right now. I'm going to leave it with you all. The only reason why I'm talking about it because I have been affected by it. No, I'm not talking about any particular person on YouTube. When I talk about this, I'm talking about my experience and my situation that I had with my ex-husband. So don't think this is about a particular YouTube channel. Now, if you want to apply it to that for your own learning, then go ahead. It's fine with me. I don't care. But what I want to say is this right here. A lot of people we already know it's by design what's going on. That the TV is programming us, commercials are programming us, and it's not only affecting the African American community, it's affecting all of us, or the Black community, whatever you want to call it. So this can pretty much apply to just about anybody, but it's affecting us, the Black folks, a little bit more than it is any other culture at this point, because the other cultures pretty much got it together, holding it together. Okay, the men are leaders, you know what I'm saying, and they're doing the right thing. But it's prevalent in our culture, and if it's not, they're leading us to believe it's so. Where our leaders are, I don't see them, and it just could be where I'm at now. It just could be. I'm just looking outside of my window and I see this all around me. Okay, so it may not be true for wherever you are. So I'm just only speaking up for myself and those who can say, hey, you know what, mama, I believe you too. I'm right on your side. I got you. I got your back too. And I'm gonna hold you down because you know what you're talking about. So I'm talking about those people who can relate. But in our community, there's such discord. This is what I'm being shown, and this is what I see now, y'all. Y'all can pick it apart and do whatever else you want. You can argue the fact, say, I'm not seeing that where I am. I see these men leading, and they're doing a wonderful job, and all of this and all of that. But once again, I'm talking about what I'm seeing right now. I see the male leadership falling apart, is no longer existing, where I am in my neck of the woods. I'm seeing a lot of selling out and bailing out. I'm seeing lots of women, by themselves and raising children by themselves and co-parenting and whatever. I'm seeing those things that I really wasn't seeing when I was a young mother with children. Looking at it now, I should have got my behind out of it too, because it was getting started way back when. I don't see these families of the 60s and beyond, or the 70s and beyond, My mom tried to hold it together, keep it together, but the men are being excused some kind of a way. They're getting a pass, all by design. They know they shouldn't be getting a pass, but they're giving them to them. anyway. And when you give people a pass, they don't learn and they go out and create mistakes and they harm themselves and the people that they should be leading. And that's what I'm seeing in this community. And consequences come with that, like incarceration. And the anger and the frustration is once again taken out on the women, mama, auntie, and baby mamas. That's what they call them. And you should have saved me from this mom, and a lot of anger and animosity that is coming from these men that should be leaders. Now they go on to procreate, create children and situations where these men are not learning to be leaders, and then they got a pass. These men got an excuse. Well, the reason why I could not put the time in with my son is because she just angered me so, and she was this, and she was all of these horrible things, and so that's my excuse for the reason why I was not there, and I, decided I would not give any monetary type of support to this child because of her. You know what I'm saying? So that's going on in our community right at this point too. So these women, most of them, because it's difficult living in America. Not everybody can get that education to become, it's not, and I'm finding that, I'm going to fix and go to 50 million places before it's over with. And it may be a part two of this, but I want to limit this. Every now and then, y'all going to see a video on this. But check this out. It's not about education. Matter of fact, when you look at these high-paying careers in America, most of them did not get there because of the education. And what is education? We all look that up, but check this out. It's all about learning to be like them. Who is them? The elitist. All exams are created to weed out those people that do not think, communicate, and carry on their lifestyles like those people, the elitists. So if you can't do these things, then they say you're illiterate, you're retarded, you're uneducated. Okay, these are the terms, but not everyone is designed, okay, to be able to function like the elitist. It's a weeding out process. I'm not saying it's good. I'm not saying it's bad. It's their system. It's their country. And when, like they say, when you're in the place of the Romans, you got to also think like the Romans and do as the Romans. If I'm saying it wrong, y'all correct me. But anyway, so it's not education. It's about, are you one of us? Can you roll like us? If you can't, then guess what? You're not going to get through our system. So you're barred out of the system. So you become that population of what they call the uneducated, the undesirable, the ghetto people, and the hood rats, the ratchet. Now you can go on and on and on and on. But most of those people are not designed to think and to carry their lives on like the elitists who run this country, who pretty much own the country, own the land, own everything. So these are the people that are left behind. Now, some of these people are educated. Still, they're left behind, or they choose to stay where they are and live the way that they live, okay? So now you're in a situation where you are a woman who may just fall in one of those categories, okay? It's expensive to live in America. It's not cheap. So now you are a single woman because it's easier to just bail out when you're male. Just leave, I'm going. She'd be better off without me. I'm tired of her taking all my money. He's not looking at, I'm tired of the elitists slaving me. It's all her fault. Okay? It's her fault because she had these children out of her wombs They all attached to her. They came out of her. So I'm gone. You do this the best way you possibly can. Because I'm tired of taking and feeding all my money into this situation. They're not, and once again, they're not looking at you're enslaved. All of us are enslaved to some extent to the system. But the woman, the male, he takes it out on her, but she has nobody to take it out on. So guess what? She has to take care of all of these children that him and her created and see about it herself. She's got to do this by herself. Okay? Now, I'm not getting in the situation with the women who got more than one baby dad. Because really and truly, when you think about it, that has nothing to do with race. Okay? For some reason, people think it does. But you can have all people of any race that are in this situation. Okay? So let me get that straightened out. But anyway, so now she's in America in an expensive place trying to find housing. Housing is not cheap. Okay? I'm here to let you know that now. Food is not cheap neither. So she's put in a position to seek out housing because she will do anything for her offspring, unlike her male counterpart who helped raise these children. He's found him another way to bail out and get out of the situation, go and stay at home with his mom or his aunt or somebody like that, or some of them are in shelter. Some of them would even elect to sleep outside. Or some of them might get their own place or whatever, but the frustration of it all, he takes it out on her and the children. But women were designed to, the motherly instinct in us. I mean, to raise our offspring and our grandchildren is so strong. It's just an instinct that's programmed within the mind of a woman. And if it was not, none of y'all asses would be out there. Okay? So you'll do anything for your children. If you got to get on welfare, you get on it. You need to get on food stamps to see about your children, you'll get on. You'll take whatever it takes to get those children what they need. And it's easy to say, hey, why get on those social programs? I'm not saying stay on them. They're not staying on them. Now, there may be some out there who stand on them. I ain't talking about that right now. But it's wonderful to have some support when you really need it and there is nowhere else to turn. I'm not saying it's great to remain on, but if we didn't have these programs, then a lot of y'all wouldn't be alive. You wouldn't eat, you wouldn't have anything. Okay, so it's okay for some people to get out there and get what they can get until they can get up on their feet, because it's easy to sit up and say, well, you can go to school, get you some education and do this, do that. But if you are one parent with children trying to go to school, trying to go to work, trying to do all of these things by yourself, and your male counterpart is outside of the house, it's almost next to impossible when you're talking about feeding children and finding a place for them to be at when they're not in school. It's easier said than done. And most of the people who are saying this, that it can be done, are the very males who got up and walked out in the first place. If it's really that easy to do it without social programs, then why didn't you stay? It wasn't even easy enough for you to stay there and handle that situation with your wife, but you're gonna say that you can do it and you didn't do it and you bailed out? She can't bail out. She can't bail out her instinctual thoughts, minds, and what's ingrained in her in her DNA would not allow her to do what you do. Somebody got to raise the children. Anyway, so I wanted to address it, but what I want to say most is this: we are, especially Black women, are trying to understand the situation. Okay, when you're trying to understand the situation, who better to get it from? Trying to understand the Black male's mind too. Oh, that's such a harsh word, Black male. Isn't that crazy? Trying to understand his mind is difficult. Why? Because most of them don't talk. By nature, a man is not to do much talking to a woman. for some reason, and for a lot of them, it's because they can maintain power by not talking. It gives them more power. Okay, so that's why they're quiet, and you're trying to understand, and they won't let you into their mind so that you can figure out what's going on. Here's the thing: the only way to understand the minds of these men is to go out, because when you come around, they talking to each other. They just get quiet. They don't even. And some of the things I've heard undercover of what these men are saying is horrible about what they say about black women. And I'm talking about black men talking right now. Okay? I'm not talking about any other race of man but black men. What they say, man, if you can get there, eavesdrop and listen to what they have to say, women, you will be shocked. So you want to know the way they think, but they won't tell you. I think a wonderful place, and I've learned a lot, to learn what they think about you, how they feel about you, why they make the decisions to do what they do to you, your family, and to the children, is to come right on here on YouTube. There are a community of black men that are telling you how they feel about you. They're giving it to you raw. And you always say, when you can sit down and understand a person and sort of sympathize with them to some extent, it brings about a lot of healing. And you can heal yourself. And once you start healing, you can make that recovery. You can understand, and you can try not to make that mistake again. But if you do make that same mistake, you're going to be punished severely, because once you have been given that knowledge, then you're responsible. To whom much is given, much is expected. And you better know that. I know that all too well. I've been here longer than a lot of y'all watching this video, so I can tell you something. I can sit down here and tell you. So there's an old saying: keep your friends close, but keep your enemies close. You want your enemies closer to you, because see, then you can learn their strategy. You can learn the game. That's just like your opponent. And it's just boiling down to that. These people are your opponent. And if you want to understand your opponents, how they think and how they function, then you gotta have them close to you. You gotta have them closer to you than your friend. Cause see, then you can sit down and you can learn something. You can learn exactly how they out to get you. That's just like you might have a band or something, and they rivals to each other, rival schools. The band director might go in to his opponents wherever they are doing their practice or whatever, and stand in for a moment and sneak and spy and see what's the next move they're gonna make, what songs they're gonna play. Then they can cheat. They can go in there and they can do it. You know what I'm saying? So that they can have a better performance than their opponent. And so, like I say, YouTube is a wonderful place for these black women who are scratching their heads trying to get an understanding of what's really going on. You got some people on here that's giving it to you like it's supposed to be given to you. They really serving up a harsh lesson, and you want to be there so that you can learn what your opponent think about you. Now, a lot of people might be saying, "Oh, that's wrong. You shouldn't be thinking about it and talking about it like that. It shouldn't be opponents." But that's what it is. He's your opponent, and you need to get it in your head. That's what he is. Okay, so y'all go out there and check out these videos. These and you're not going so you get riled up and get mad. You go in there so that you can have an understanding, okay, of how your man think at home. It sure helped me a lot. Some of it you're gonna be able to do something with it, and some of it is just plain old ignorance. And you got to realize that you can't make sense out of nonsense. So now that don't pause your brain too much, but you need to know what your ex-husband think about you, or your husband to be an ex, or your boyfriend, or your boyfriend to be an ex. You need to understand how he feel about you, and he's going to reveal to you his upbringing so that you can come to some understanding and make your decision what you're going to do from that point on. So I say keep your enemies closer. I say do not argue about it, do not fuss about it, do not work to shut nobody's channel down. Sit there, listen, and learn something. That's what you want to do. You're not gonna reason with them. You're not gonna get no understanding in them. And even if you shut the channels down, then somebody else is coming. So the best you can do is to learn something from it. Once again, like I said, it's a treasure to be able to know, because you're not gonna get your man to tell you what this person is telling you, but this is what they say to each other amongst their peers. This is what they do. And so you're getting a chance to see exactly what is really going on. Really, honestly, you are. And why would you want to shut that down? I found a lot of the times when I had evidence that things were going on in my relationship, I had the evidence. I would go and run and blah, blah, blah my mouth and shut it down. And then guess what? All you're doing is helping your opponent to be able to be better at the game than you, in other words. So if you've exposed one of the tools that you were given to really see exactly what was going on, then guess what? You're just helping him to clean up the situation so that he can be a better team player on his own end than you. See, so you gotta kind of like let them situations or those channels, let them stay out there so that you can sit down there and get the information you need. In other words, so y'all just be quiet. You got a lot of, black women getting upset, getting angry with all of this, feeding energy and power into it. To some extent, I'm doing it too, but mine's is limited because I say, let's watch and see what's going on so that we can be better teammates with each other, so that we can eliminate the situation and the problem. You got more power than they do, and you don't even realize it. You know what I'm saying? Mama got more power. Okay, the mothers have more power than these men, even than these fathers. She gives her power over to him, and he uses it. He harnesses that power, and he's able to perfect what he needs and what he wants with your power. Okay, so that's why I say allow him to speak and tell you how he feels. Observe. It's going to help you with your own situation, with your own mate. It is up to you what you decide you're going to do with that from there. So I say the most wonderfulest thing that could ever happen to YouTube for black people is where you have these black men who are some of your brothers, your husbands, your boyfriends, or your children. This is some of the best stuff you could ever get, the best food you could get. They telling it like it is, how they feel about you. When you opening up your womb space to them, they're telling you how they feel about you. This is the way I feel about you. Okay? You're giving me all of this, and I hate you. I'm not saying all black men are this way, but when you got a man that is a woman hater, you're going to open your womb up to a woman hater? Okay? That's why you're sick. That's why you're cramping. That's why your life is all screwed up and frustrating. That's why y'all mixed up in the head. Don't know whether you're going or coming. You know what I'm saying? It's because you are at odds with yourself. Because you want to love someone that hates you. You see what I'm saying? So it's so few of them out there, and so just people are scrounging because they're in so many different directions. And it's just it's crazy what's going on right now. And and these women won't date men. So it boils down to taking a man that hates himself, and quite naturally he hates you. And you gotta. I found that if you have discipline, the more discipline you have, the more structured minded you are, and then those wonderful things will come to you. It seems like it's gonna take forever, but it's coming. Great things are gonna come to you. Okay. Now, anyway, I'm going to end this video. I just wanted to talk about that because it was heavily on my mind. I'm like, whoa, I gotta talk about this. This is getting out of hand. What am I talking about? I'm talking about, black women, chill out. Okay? Stop focusing your energy and stuff on running on those channels and creating videos. And I know y'all ain't listening to me neither, because if you want to talk about it, you just want to talk about it, you want to get it off your chest, you just got to do it. You got to do what you got to do. And but I'm just here to tell you, it's just a waste of energy and a waste of time. You could be doing something more constructive, believe it or not, because they are here and they have a purpose. They have a purpose. It needs to be heard. It needs to be said. They need to tell you how they feel about it, no matter how hard the pill is to swallow. You need to listen to it. Don't worry about the people on the YouTube. Be concerned about those folks in your household, because 9 times out of 10 they feel the same way these guys, these black men feel on YouTube, who's frustrated. They pretty much feel the same. Okay. And you can learn a lot just by sitting back and observing and listening. What you do with it from there is totally up to you. Okay, I hopefully I won't have to go there anytime soon. I know it's going to be a part 2 to this. And I need to help, women, because to some extent this can be applied to really any race. It really can. Because there are a lot of women, no matter who they are, that are going through this woman situation with these men. Because these men they have been given a pass, y'all. So they heading out the back door. Everything your fault, woman. You did it all. See, and it's really, this is not a black thing. When you think about it. Let's go back to as far as Eve. She was blamed for everything. Oh, since the woman came here, she just been she's been all our problem. She's just played man since the beginning of civilization. It's all her fault. And what's between her legs is the devil's nectar. Oh Lord. You see what I'm saying? So women have been scapegoats forever. And and when I look at them and they talk about Christ being crucified. Christ had to be a woman. I just can't see it no other way. I can't see it no other way. Y'all, let me end this, okay? Because I'm rambling right now, okay? So I'm hoping that this video helps some of you all. Like I say, wives, y'all listen to these men on here. They telling us something, okay? Just listen to them. Don't be quick to make a video and dissect their childhood and trying to figure out what happened to them, these men on YouTube, because that man is your man, okay? That's your husband you're waking up to every morning. That's him. That's your husband that's helping you pay the bills, raise the children. That's your husband. Honestly, it is. And these men on here is trying to tell you they are trying to help you figure out that you may be laying in the bed with a serial killer, a wife beater. You know, you sharing yourself with him. And you need these men of YouTube. You need these men, these black men of YouTube, to tell you like it is. You gotta listen, no matter how angry you get. But you can't be mad with the man on YouTube. You gotta be mad with your man, because 9 times out of 10 he shares the same views. Now I'm only talking about these women who are in relationships or part of relationships or contemplating a relationship with a woman hater. And everybody, you know who he is. And I shouldn't have to sit here and tell you the characteristics of that man, because I done did too many videos trying to show you the characteristics of a woman hater. Go back and refer to the other videos. I mean, you can research the videos, type in men who hate women. I don't know. Trying to pick them apart, dissect it, and figure out why they hate them is irrelevant. What's relevant is to get yourself out of such a situation. That's what's relevant, because there's nothing you can do to straighten that out. No one can fix that. A lot of them pout, I'm going to another race. That does not help, because now, guess what? Now this woman has to deal with it, the sickness, and she can't fix it. And the children, they have to suffer. I've spoken to some children in a situation, and they're not doing too good. So the only thing that can happen with anyone like that, you got some women like that too, that just purely hate themselves, is those people really and truly should be cautioned to not have children. They should have kids, because all they can do is pass that same sickness down to those children. Okay, and that's gonna end this video. So if you're with one of these black men who fit these characteristics, girlfriend, you got work. You need to get up on your game, and you're going to have to do something about this situation before it destroys you. You're going to wind up in a mental institution, and your children, they're going to hate you and grow up to be these same haters that you were with. Okay? So you got to do something about this now. You know if you with that type of person, because their sperm is toxic. It's like acid. You know what I'm saying? It programs you to in turn hate yourself. For a while, I hated me. I didn't like me. Still trying to work with dealing with that thing. I was being programmed. See, that man's seed is not just there to procreate, but it's to get you to start thinking and believing the same things he believed in. It's going to affect you in an adverse way, believe it or not. Anyway, I'm done. I'll be back in a little bit, okay? So we can apply this to all races, okay? That's what we're going to do. Because, I mean, when you go out in the Middle East, these Middle Eastern men hate their women too. They sure do. And even in Africa and all these different places, so this can be applied in so many different ways, okay? Be back in a